Hello and welcome back to Earth Rose Tarot. How are you doing? Thank you for being here. Today is going to be a general tarot love reading for my Sagittarius. This is for Saggy in Sun, Moon, Rising or Venus. It is a general reading, not a personal one. So as always, please do take what does resonate for you. Anything I say that doesn't resonate, leave it for somebody else. It's also a timeless reading. It's for whenever you come across it. Okay, we're going to be looking at what is coming towards you next, primarily in love, Sagittarius, but if anything else comes through relating to other aspects of life, I will pass it on. If you're new to the channel, then huge welcome. Thank you so much for trying me out. If you're a returning subscriber, then welcome back. Thank you for all the wonderful support. It means the world. So, let's crack on. For my Sagittarius, please, what is coming towards them next in love? For Saggies, please. Thank you. Okay, so you've got the Two of Wands that came out first as your first card, Sagittarius. So would suggest that you may be coming to some sort of a crossroads where you need to, you're going to go left, you're going to go right. The other cards that came out, the Nine of Wands, crossing it sideways, and the King of Pentacles, also sideways. There could be associated with this decision some sort of hesitancy and concern, hesitation out of fear of either being taken advantage of, potentially, for your financial status. For also, it's giving that you may have worked very hard to get to where you are at in terms of financial security, stability, and it's taken you some time and some knocks that you've worked through, and you've worked very hard to build what you have right now. And so it's the crossroads decision could have you fearful in some way that if you make the wrong choice, it could destabilize the abundance that you've worked for. Tell me more. What's coming towards Sagittarius next, please? Four of Cups in the upright. Bottom of the deck is the Four of Wands. Again, fours, repeating fours. You have a choice, and part of you wants to turn it down. Part of you feels like it's not enough. You have something else. There's something else that you had in mind. So your heart was set on X happening. So being presented with, well, you could do Y, it's like, no, I said I was going to do X, and that's it. Tell me more. What is this choice about, please, for Saggy? If this, obviously, I am asking about what's coming towards you next in love, then we could also be looking at you're making some sort of choice, and there's like a factor of someone in the back of your mind. It might be that this choice takes you away from any, like, it will make it feel like there's no further chance for that person in the back of your mind to like, for something to happen with them if you make this choice. So for example, you have the opportunity to move into a beautiful new home, to own a home, or just to, move. But it might be you have to move abroad, or you have to move internationally, and that there's like there might be a slight hesitation or holding back from that opportunity because of someone. Could be an earth sign, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, doesn't have to be, but someone who you're still kind of, I mean, the Nine of Wands sideways, it's just hanging on to one last F, basically one last F to give, but only just, one last, look over your shoulder of, but what about them? But at the same time, it's like you don't want to miss this opportunity if this is somebody who hasn't been coming towards you. Okay, tell me more. For Saggy, please, what's coming towards them? Seriously. The Fool just came out and crossed perfectly on top of the Two of Wands. This is all about making a choice, like, risk it for a biscuit. Do you take some sort of leap? Do you start a whole new journey. The other card that came out was the Queen of Cups, and it came out on top of the Four of Cups. It's water energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. But look at this. Page of Cups at the bottom of the deck. And underneath it is death in the world. I mean... It could be that going in a new direction. There's this sense where you have been before this crossroads moment of feeling potentially overlooked, or like your love, your affection is not appreciated where you've been. It might have been, there's like this sense of longing or craving for maybe emotional fulfillment, emotional attachment to... This is like, I mean, even looking at this Queen of Cups, she's holding obviously out her cup. It's giving. It's always giving affection, giving love, giving consideration, but then being met with this. So where you've been is been trying to give your love to either one person or multiple people who haven't either accepted it, appreciated it. It's almost like receiving that Queen of Cups cup and being like, that's nice, thanks. Just going to put it on my shelf with the other cups. Great. Back to what I was doing. And with this death in the world I showed you underneath the Page of Cups, it's almost like this new chapter would involve you withdrawing, the Queen of Cups, like withdrawing her cup and being like, okay, well, I can't offer you my love anymore that you were kind of turning your nose up at anyway, because things have changed drastically. I won't be around anymore, and I'm just not in a 3D like passing kind of way, but I won't be in the neighborhood, I won't be in the country anymore. So what you've been overlooking, it's going to be done. It's going to be gone. See, underneath death in the world, we have the Four of Pentacles, the Ace of Cups, Justice, the Two of Swords, and the Two of Cups. There's this... this is like someone receiving that cup of love and then being like, okay, cool, thank you, shut the door in your face. So there is a bit of balance being restored here, because this situation seems to have been one that's been unfair, but it's one that you haven't wanted to give up on so far. But you're about to be presented with some sort of significant crossroads moment, Sagittarius, which, yeah, I think there's just a hesitation about it will mean giving up on that person that you've been trying to love. God. Can you tell me more about this new opportunity for Sagittarius, please? Or the crossroads, the decision? Look at this. The card that just jumped out, the Eight of Cups. The Three of Wands at the bottom of the deck, and I can see the Strength card as well. The Eight of Cups shows someone walking away, and it can literally talk about... I mean, these cups aren't broken in this Eight of Cups card, but it talks about there's a sense of being emotionally unfulfilled and turning your back on that. I mean, and looking, again, someone else with their back to us, looking out to the future, looking to new horizons. It's a difficult choice, potentially. It's choosing... it's your higher self making this choice, almost knowing, it's like your higher self knows what is best for you and what you deserve, and you deserve more. It's like you need to think bigger, basically. Your higher self is saying you need to expect more for yourself. You need to set your sights a little higher, a little further, Sag, than what you've been accepting so far with where you've been. There is more. There's a big world. It's basically, there's a big, beautiful world out there. There's lots of fish in the sea. There's lots of people. I mean, obviously some of the fish are not that great, but there's some solid salmon out there as well. But Okay. Thank you. So the Ace of Cups, I didn't actually ask a question, but I just set the intention of anything else you want to mention before we move on. The Ace of Cups came out like this. It is crossing the whole thing that we've been talking about is crossing the Two of Wands with the Fool. So, but you see how they're actually landed in opposing directions. It's almost like you may feel like this, taking this leap is counterintuitive to having a start in love that you wanted, because it's almost like the Fool goes that way or the Ace of Cups goes that way. Which one is it going to be? But I mean, to be fair, the Ace of Cups that you've been offering and you've been wanting to be reciprocated has had, this person's been turning their nose up at it and acting like it's... So my point is, there's going to feel like it's either you're choosing that or you choose love. That's how it's going to feel. However, I'm not sure if this is really the love that you deserved where you've been. Oh my God, I'm sorry, my French annoys the hell out of me. The Queen of Wands also came out. And then at the bottom of the deck is the Ten of Swords and the World again. It's moved around, but this is the end, my friend, basically. I'm going to go, you know. The Queen of Wands is, obviously you, Sag, it's fire energy, Aries, Leo, Sag. But it's also kind of telling me this is more about choosing, like the Queen of Cups is very self-sacrificing a little bit, in terms of it's more important to the Queen of Cups that sometimes that others know how much she loves them. That's more important than her prioritizing. I'm saying her because it's Queen, could be man in real life. Her prioritizing her feelings, like how are they making me feel? This is someone who's like, well, it doesn't, that's secondary as long as you know how much I love you. But this Queen of Wands is not, it's just different. The Queen of Wands chooses herself, which we do need to do sometimes. And it's not selfish to make a choice that honours yourself, Sag, as well. Okay. I think I've made that point. Let's get you a couple of these. Messages for Sagittarius, please. I do want to know what this King of Pentacles problem is as well. We'll get into that. A couple of messages for Sagittarius, please, for their reading today. We've got the Hydrangea, which is thankfulness for understanding. Thanks for understanding, but I've got to go. Before we can forgive one another, we have to understand one another. Yep. Thankfulness for understanding. I mean, that's a very mature take. That could be a mutual understanding that this situation is no longer serving either of you. I thought, before I finished the quote, that it was actually going to go in the direction of before we can forgive one another, we must forgive ourselves. So then it popped into my head, so I'm going to say it. There might be an element, Sag, where you need to actually forgive yourself for, well, for one thing, offering a Queen of Cups amount of love to someone who's been turning their nose up at it. You might have to forgive yourself for allowing that to go on. It might also be that some of you need to forgive yourself for actually choosing yourself, which you don't. You don't need to actually feel bad about that. However, there might be a part of you that feels like you're betraying this person for letting them go, by letting them go. Give me another one of these, please, for Sagittarius. We have the Sweet William. Gallantry, grant me a single smile. It says, there's a quote, Sweet William small has form and aspect bright, like that sweet flower that yields great Jove delight. Okay. I don't know what that means. I'm just being honest. I mean, it might just be saying, you know, you want to leave things on a sweet note. You don't want to leave things in a bitter way, whatever this is, or someone else doesn't want to. Let's see, I'm going to use a different oracle deck. What this King of Pentacles, who's been in this Four of Cups energy towards you, what do they want to say to you? What would they say to you, Sag? Confusion. I feel unclear about where we stand. Time. I'm afraid it's too late to take action. Very apathetic, though. I mean, absence. I feel like a part of me is missing without you. And soul tie. I always feel connected to you. So this King of Pentacles is saying that they're not sure what's going on. They are missing you. They feel the lack of you. I mean, that could be they will miss you. If like that, just absence is the word at the top of the card there. So it isn't, we're talking about in some way, Sag, you leaving. So they don't want you to not be in their life, but they don't know what to do either. Okay, let's dive into this Four of Cups. Why is this Four of Cups here? The King of Cups. Okay, but the Four of Cups came out with the Queen of Cups. Look, King, Queen of Cups with the Four of Cups in between the two. I mean, this is like two people who love each other with the King, Queen of Cups, but there's, I don't know if there's some sort of complacency that's built up between the two of you, Sag, because the Four of Cups is like getting apathetic. I think I've said that a couple of times about the love that you have, kind of getting complacent and being like, yeah, well, Sag is always going to be around. It's no biggie. Why is this person confused about Sag and where they stand? The Queen of Swords. Two of Swords. If there's someone that you're ignoring or have been giving the silent treatment to, Sag, then they feel like you don't want to talk to them, and you don't want them to talk to you. Oh my gosh. King of Swords. I got 4 cards out from this deck so far, and we've got the King and Queen of Swords with the Two of Swords in between the two of you. And like I just showed you, we've got the King and Queen of Cups with the Four of Cups in between the two. Talk about this, like, communication's broken down, I would say. There's a sense of, like, if this is living with someone, because I've got 2 couples out effectively, but I would say it's all about you and one person, Sag. I'm not saying there's actually 4 people involved, but it's just saying that, you know, there was so much love between the two of you, but you've both kind of are no longer emotionally fulfilled by how the connection is going. And then we've got this, like, it's almost like the love has gone very cold. Like, the love might still be there. I mean, even if, obviously it depends on the relationship, but sometimes you can have an ex and you would still say, oh, there's a part of me that will always love them, but we are not in love with each other anymore. Like, it's not the same as when we first got together. I hope I'm making sense. This is almost like people who have turned into exes with each other, but they're still in the relationship. So it's not officially over, but it's kind of like just going through the motions with this King and Queen of Swords. And if you were living together, this would be like, yeah, there's somebody else in the house somewhere, but we don't talk anymore. We don't interact. And with this time, it's almost like this stagnancy might have been going on, or this, like things breaking down to this point. With this person saying, I'm afraid it's too late to take action, it's almost like it's hanging on by by a thread at this point. The relationship, actually the two of you staying together, is hanging on by a thread. And there was a time, if you think about like a hole appearing, or like a pull in a jumper or something, it's almost like this person is saying, I should have nipped it in the bud. I should have, when I first sensed that hole in the jumper of the energetic jumper of our relationship, I should have sewn it up, darned it, repaired it right then and there. But I didn't. And then when you have a pull in a nice jumper or whatever, and the thread just keeps going and going, and suddenly that, what could have been fixed, nipped in the bud, the thread has just kept going and going, and now there's more hole than jumper, basically. So it's too late. But they feel like it might be too late to repair the situation. So they've kind of, but they're not doing anything as a result. It's like a bit, how can I put it? That they feel, there's such a sense of feeling lost that it's almost like giving up without actually trying. But I don't sense so much, especially, okay, maybe with that Sweet William card that came out, and the thankfulness for understanding, and the grant me a single smile. It's more like there hasn't been something you can specifically say in this connection, well, they cheated on me, for example, and that ruined everything. Or we had this we realised there's this huge clash in terms of our values, or our ideas, our ideals about certain things are completely in conflict with each other. So it's not going to work because of X. It's almost like it's just this complacency has seeped in. You both do care about each other still, but and there's there's a sweetness, there's an understanding. It's very mutually respectful. But yeah, I mean, obviously there's something coming up, Sag, where you're going to feel like, if I jump at this opportunity, I will be leaving behind any chance that you and this person can have the Ace of Cups can, obviously you can talk about a new beginning in love, but it can also be like a renewal of an existing relationship. So it's like, if I choose this, and this is well and truly done, there won't be a chance for us to have a fresh start, or for the love to return to the connection. Okay. If Sag, I'm trying to think of the right questions for you. If Sag were to make this choice to go on this new journey, this new chapter, how is, I don't know whether to call them the King of Cups, King of Swords, King of Pentacles, because they've come through as all three. How is, I'm just going to say the partner here, whether you're, whatever state of relationship you're in with them at the moment, but how is Sag's partner going to feel pride came out first, immediately. Arrogance, ego, stubborn. So they might react quite from a low vibrational place. The other cards that came out are lusting and breaking point. Lusting says forbidden, non-committal, S energy, and breaking point, limit, final straw. And I could not shake the message that came into my head. And it's a bit grim, so bear with me. But there's this guy sat on his laptop here on the breaking point card. It's like, how can I put this, Sag? If you are in a connection with someone and you feel, I mean, things could have really gone cold everywhere. And I mean, like, emotionally, in the bedroom, etc. And you didn't want to give up on things, though. If you find out, or there could be something that helps you make your decision about this crossroads moment, because if you find out, for example, that this person has been on OnlyFans or looking after themselves in that regard online, to things online, whilst you're trying to like snuggle up to them and they're like, no, not tonight, I'm not feeling it, but they're doing that. I hope you know what I'm talking about here. It's a bit grim to talk about, but it's reality as well for a lot of people. If you find out that they've been doing that to whoever online and treating you like ice, that could be your final straw for you as well. There's this element of them fantasizing about things external to the two of you. I have to be honest, because also with this Four of Cups, if you think about, like, this is the love that, for example, you're offering them, and they're sat there. There's the Four of Cups can talk about longing for and craving for things that we don't have. Well, you know, you've got a beautiful Queen of Cups sized cup being offered to you of love, and this is someone I would rather live in fantasy land with fantasy people from the internet kind of thing. So it's either, as I said, that you find that out and that could be a catalyst to you making your choice. Or if I did ask, how is this person going to react if Sag makes the choice to leave? They could react poorly, and it's from, as I said, low vibrational place. Like they're going to, rather than think immediately, and oftentimes this is like an instant reaction and the other reactions are going to come later, but the instant reaction looks like, you left me, like, how dare you? And it's because part of their ego is wounded, that even though neither of you were happy and satisfied in many ways in the connection, the fact that you're making this choice, it's like, it's still wounding them, but they're reacting from their ego is reacting, not, you know, if they're actually hurt emotionally, the ego is taking over first. And so it could be an element of them, like, they might make a bit of a tit out of themselves basically online, lusting after other people to try and validate, or, you know, posting some very questionable stuff online of themselves, but it's to try and get the validation from others that they are still attractive, desired, you know. Anything else you can tell me? How is Sagittarius going to feel if they make the choice at this crossroads to go in a new direction? How is Sag going to feel? Okay, so withdrawn came out, single, lonely, solitary. But at the bottom of the deck is peace, balance, harmony, friendship. Why withdrawn? Is that like, so, I mean, it is, you might be, this is giving me, again, you see how this person is like looking out across the horizon there. If this option is, say, you move to a new country and you get an amazing new home or an amazing new job or something. However, when you first get there, you're going to feel a little bit lonely and isolated, because you don't yet know the people in your new neighborhood. You've left people behind in somewhere completely different that was some sort of structure for you. So at first, yeah, it might feel a bit isolating, but with that piece there's also, I see like the stress, the tension of also living in, it's horrible to be in that energy of being with someone that you love, but they're they're acting so complacent that it's like you no longer feel appreciated, loved, desired by the person that once did show you all of those things. So tell me more about how Sag is going to feel if they make the choice. Give me one more. Okay, a lot came out. Resistance in reverse came out. It says suppressing, timid. It's like this lady. Yeah, suppressing your needs is going to be reversed. Like being resisted by the person that you loved is obviously that's no longer going to be. You're not going to have that weight on you. The timid. I also see that it might start to improve your self-confidence, Sag, by making this move. There is thinking that came out, missing you, craving, desiring, and intuition, heart song, telepathy, inner knowing. So you may feel a mixture of emotions if you make this choice, Sag. I'm going to be straightforward with you. You may feel in a way that by making this choice, you've abandoned any hope of having a family in your lifetime, in this lifetime. So maybe there was an element of wanting to stay with the person who you've been with because the plan was that you guys would start a family. So you may feel like by making this choice, you've also given up the chance of having a child, having a family. For some of you, if that's not relevant, don't worry about it. I'll show you what that is in a sec. But at the same time, there is this, your heart song is telling you you needed to make this choice. At the bottom of the deck is perspective, better off, happiness, clear headspace. Underneath it is curse, which mentions the negative mind, exhaustion, depleted, drained, and confusion, uncertain, unclear, unsure. So it's almost like you will have a sense of peace through the through making this choice, because it's almost like you have this way. You have actually an answer. You have the clarity, and it's almost like you've been stuck in a grey area with this person of what is going on for so long that it is almost become like a prison. Let me see. Any other messages? Advice maybe for Sagittarius? Any... Oh, wow. Okay. So the Peacock Spirit came out first. It did come out like this. So it's almost completely reversed. The Peacock Spirit is Let It Shine. It's also the number 46, which I was drawn to because 4 and 6... Well, it actually... I was going to say it adds up to 10, which it does. But it also... Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. So it tends in tarot to talk about, obviously, completions, endings of chapters, also beginnings of new chapters. So there's that. But also, it's almost like where you've been, Sag, has been dulling your shine, because I was mentioned a couple of times about you stepping into the Queen of Wands energy, also stepping into more self-confidence about making some sort of choice for your sake rather than the sake of others. So it's almost like the advice here is, yeah, you do need to let it shine. You do need to be resplendent as this peacock, rather than timid and repressed and suppressed. You know, it's always, I strongly get a message of a Sag who's been putting their needs, their desires, their, you know, whether you're a man or woman, you have needs, you know, I get this, you know what I mean, in every area. And it's kind of like you've been putting all of that aside for the sake of how this other person's been feeling, right? The other card that came out is the cat spirit, claim your independence. And then the deck split when the cat came out. We have electric eel spirit, bring your ideas to life. And badger spirit, be fearless and bold. Okay. I'm just trying to think if I can get you anything on what this new chapter might be about, other than what I've already said. I feel like it's going to be slightly different for all of you. There's just the main themes that I've mentioned about it, taking you away, like, in some way from where you've been. It's like making this choice means a choice for you. I don't see that it's about a new start in love with someone else at all. It's more like this would be, it's a choice for you. So it's something to do about like something you've wanted for yourself. It has nothing to do with a relationship or love. It's, you know, you've got the opportunity for something wonderful. It could be about, you know, your passion, your hobby, what makes you feel alive, you know. It could be a new job, as I said, a new home. Anything you can tell me about what this new chapter will be about for Saggy, please? I feel like actually this is something it's actually a opportunity that has been there for a while and you've been ignoring because it's counterintuitive to this person that you've been trying to work it out with, let's just say. Because the Two of Swords came out. So this is basically like this choice, this other path has always been there. You know, the option to move to, I don't know, south of France, let's just say. I would like to when I'm older, for sure. Love south of France. Anyway, it's like the option to do that has always been on the table, but it has been to apply for a job in a company that means that you will have to move 2 hours away from where you're at right now. That is, again, you could have done that a couple of years ago. But so whatever it is, it's an option that you are already aware of, but you went, no, I couldn't possibly because of what I'm trying to work out with my person here. So this isn't going to be so much a bolt out of the blue, like, oh, I can move to France. I didn't know I could move to France. It's like, it's always been there, but it's been something that you were aware of and you've chosen to just, no, that's not on my radar. It's not an option I can consider because of this person. And so that's what you're now reconsidering. So that's what I've got for you this time, Sag. I really hope it was useful for someone out there. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit the thumbs up button for me if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. I would love to have you. And if it did resonate at all, or if you just want to say thanks, leave me a comment and let me know. And I wish you all my best. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.